we're kind of going to stick with something like here. Is this gratuitous or is it a gratuity? A TikTok video about tipping has divided the internet. It shows a customer not tipping on a $3 coffee, and some rush to his defense, saying dropping a tip on a coffee is totally unnecessary, while others vehemently disagreed. So what are your thoughts? Should he have tipped on the coffee?
Tipping gives me so much anxiety. You know, if you get a specialty coffee, like something that's foamed and they got to get lots of different things and contraptions out, exactly. I feel like you kind of have to tip. You got to I tip $1 on a drink like that, which makes the drink very expensive. I will say it burns if someone's pouring you a hot cup of Joe out of a thing, and are you still tipping? I don't know what to do. And you only tip in nice places. You don't tip in a chain necessarily.
You never do.
It's very stressful for me. And I will say that when I was a server, if someone ordered takeout, I would skip past the takeout option on the debit machine. Because I'm not serving you.
Option.
The tip option. I would skip past it because I always feel like, I tipped now during the pandemic.
Sure.
When you didn't have the option of actually being served inside of a restaurant. Yeah, then it's always like 20%, do it. But back in the day, you know, it's always a weird thing. What is the tip for?
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. And let's come back. Colleen has some thoughts on that. This is my pet peeve, the tipping. Why should I tip for a coffee? Do teachers get tipped? Do nurses get tipped? I don't feel pressured to tip because I know it's wrong. I will give a tip when I feel it's warranted. So to go back to that question, like, what are you tipping? Are you tipping a certain effort? Are you tipping the foam? For me, I tip always. Historically, because my parents were in the service industry, my mom was a waitress, and we had a restaurant. So I tip from like my own history, but I also tip, and here's why. I tip not just for like that, whatever you're pouring for me. I tip because that person has to endure that job and the people who come in like me and you and you and the people who yell at them, the people who are rude, the people who insist on using the bathroom but didn't buy anything, the people who come in with their children who are screaming. I tip because in the service industry, those people are dealing with some jerks.
But shouldn't we expect, like, the argument that some people were making online is that, you know, these jobs have been traditionally underpaid by the company, and shouldn't the company be paying more? And you mentioned other chains. Like, isn't this also messing up the competition? Because if you know a big, huge chain, most of them don't even accept, like, there's not even an option for a tip.
No.
So are you then putting the guy across the street who's a small mom and pop shop, like, and a lot of them do have the automatic, you have to kind of tip right on that. So if you are, again, living paycheck to paycheck and you're kind of looking at your budget, are you not going to send your business to there? So it gets really complicated. Like, I
had this experience yesterday.
Okay,
like,
what happened?
I tipped, and it was one of those machines where it was automatic, so I do the middle option because I don't want to be the least, I don't want to be the most. So I go middle, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, and this is what I've come to realize, when you're tipping on like a coffee, you're tipping for a service you haven't actually received yet. So for me yesterday, they messed up my coffee order twice, and it took me 17 minutes to get my coffee, which ironically was the percentage that I ended up tipping. And it was like, I've already tipped you, and this was actually not great service. And so I feel like that's the problem with the upfront tipping, is you don't actually have the service to tip on yet.
And I have the reverse situation, is that I now every morning in the Path, I've talked about how much I love and enjoy the Path, and I've been going to this little coffee shop and across the street is a big chain. I've decided to start going to the littler guy, and the woman there who works behind the counter, she knows me before I show up, and she starts making my coffee, and it's always amazing.
Well, that's worth the
and
tip.
they don't have a tip option.
Oh.
So what do I do?
Start bringing cash.
Start bringing cash.
Start bringing cash.
Yeah.
And do you know what? The last day of when you're down there before
Christmas,
we go
get her
on Christmas break, give her a little card.
Okay,
Yes.
Done.
Oh, that's nice.
Look at us. We figured
That's
something out.
nice. Oh, look how much we've solved.